It is 9:47 a.m. I think CYBL is a little scared right now because there's a big, almost 2 million share seller at the ask. So I want to see if this will try to kill that market maker. I guess is the best way to say it. But I did have one trade with CYBL, and I was a little salty because I guess I wasn't really seeing it. I was looking at another stock at the time, but I did see that it was trading in this range. It had like a first green day the other day, and it isn't horrible. It has a little bit more volume than most of the other days, so it kind of shows that maybe it can try to do something for more than one day at least, but it could always just fail. And when it broke past this 18 range, it just kind of shot up and I didn't want to chase it or anything. And I thought, well, that's too bad. I missed out on this, but I did get in it at 934. I bought 10,000 shares at 184. Why? Because there was a big 1 million share bidder that showed up at the bid, and that was really, really just really bullish. So when I was in it right here at 184, I saw that big bidder. I was in it right here, and it did get as high as 188, but I didn't do anything more. I didn't try to get to this 19 level or anything like that. And I did sell very quickly at 935. I got out right here at 186 because I just didn't like the price action anymore. It wasn't looking as good as it was previously. And I also drew this trend line later. Not a big surprise. Once it broke the trend line, it looks like it started to reverse. I was interested in a dip buy after it makes this run up right under VWAP and everything, but this was a bit quick. And now it's been trading a little choppy, and I don't want to mess with it anymore. That's really about it. I haven't really seen anything else that, piques my interest. I'm just going to continue to look at CYBL, and maybe if CYDY does like a really incredible panic, which I don't think it will, I might consider a dip buy here, but otherwise, the only thing I see that's interesting is CYBL. It is 9:55. I want to see if this thing can actually break 184. It looks like we did, but is it gonna get 185? There were a bunch of big sellers at this price point here. I did trade this one more time, and this was like a dip under VWAP essentially, although I was interested in it when it was back here, but this was a bit too quick, and then it kind of came back, and it was like more of a confirmation because it broke under VWAP uptrend, and then it came back under, and it held around the same level, and then the price action was looking a lot better. I don't really like the way I traded this last trade right here that I still have to go over because I feel like I could still be holding half of my position. But it just seems really toppy around the 184s and the 185s. There were just so many sellers at the ask. I did buy at 954, actually no, 951, 10,000 shares at 18. Again, I was at 951 right here. Why? Again, it had that dip under VWAP, the VWAP line, and also this level 18 was a pretty important level. So I got in at 18 when it looked like it was going to break past it, and the level 2 and the price action and everything was supporting it. I got in it for that reason. And that big 2 million share seller, I think what happened is that he disappeared and then he just showed up at 18 with like 10,000 shares. So the big seller was hiding its size, and I think it got wiped out right here eventually, and I got in it when it was looking like there was a lot of good price action. Wow, this thing is actually uptrending. Yeah, I didn't trade this last trade the best I could have, but again, I got in because it was breaking past VWAP and it was breaking past this 18 level after it just had a spike on the second green day. The first green day was pretty good in terms of how much it moved, and it had a little bit more volume than a usual day, so that was in favor. And I did sell half of my position at 954 right when it looked like it broke past it, but then it was kind of just looking a little iffy. I did sell half of my position here at 182. My fear was that it might just top right here like this wick was, and then it just sells right back under. And then I sold the other 5,000 shares the next minute at 9:55, right here at 184. I think it was actually between 183 and 184. And yeah, no, this thing continued to make a move. Now the high is 188. If it could break 188, we have an intraday breakout. Although this is a bit sketchy how much it's just, uptrending. It could move the 19 potentially. Let's just see if the price action shows. Now, I do regret selling the last piece because I sold the last piece at a not really, significant point. It didn't break this trend line I had right here. It didn't maybe downtrend and then break VWAP or something like that under this line. It just felt like, oh, it just looks like a top I'm going to sell. I probably should have held the last piece just in case it does something like this. And I'd feel pretty salty if it were to break the day high and then it uptrends more, but at least that shows that there's plenty of room for improvement. I'll continue to watch this, but this thing could try to maybe drop and then have a higher low off of this level and then it eventually breaks it. That might not be bad too. And then I might even consider longing that as well. Okay, it is 7:28 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I'm going to be up today $4.75, and that was 2 trades with CYBL, and I could have been much more profitable. With the first one, I would have made a lot more if I were to have been a part of it right when it broke 18 for the very first time, or I could have even considered the previous day high, the first day high, which was this 177 level, and that would have been a part of better, more profitable setup, just being in at an earlier price for that reason. But I'm glad I did try it when I did, when that 1 million share bidder showed up. And then as for the second one here, I did a pretty good job, but it actually seems like with both of the setups, I should have traded much more shares. Worst case scenario on the first trade, I would have had to have cut losses at 1.7, and then according to how many shares and the price I got in, I actually should have traded maybe 15,000 shares here, right? Which would have made the position a little bigger, and that would have brought it closer to that $20-25 risk level. And then for this one right here, the second one, because I was getting in actually at the 18 level, and I had the same risk level, so I was in at a lower price, I could have bought, in theory, 20,000 shares, and then I would have had a much more profitable day. And of course, that's not even taking into consideration the amount of, like positions I could have sold at a better price. And yeah, with having more shares, that could have been pretty cool too. So I'm glad there's room for improvement. And this one did downtrend. I guess it might be like IND, right? Like if it just sells off and does this, maybe that's just too bad. But perhaps if over a longer period of time it retests that level right there, the highs, maybe it can do something more. Otherwise, that's pretty much about it. I don't see anything else that was really interesting throughout the day in terms of a day trading setup. That's all I have for today. I could have done a little better on each of the 2 trades, and I should have had more shares. It's a work in progress, and I just have to keep going forward.